who dictates the fashion? Like, who makes stuff quote unquote cool? Where and how did formal attire come from? Who got to create formal attire and call that formal attire, right? Yo, what is up? This is David, and I want to talk to you today about societal conditioning, social conditioning, and give you like a brief overview of what social conditioning is and how it kind of starts. And it's a continuation of the conversation we had the other day, so if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and watch that video. So how does social conditioning start? And there are many different terms and labels for social conditioning. Some of them can be groupthink or the status quo, culturescape, cultural conditioning, herd mentality, these types of labels, right? I like to refer to it as societal conditioning. And so how does social conditioning work? How does it start? How does it begin? So it starts with pretty much an individual or maybe like a group of people who absolutely have a strong sense of reality. They absolutely have a strong sense of belief and conviction in what it is they're trying to portray. Let's say, for example, fashion. Fashion is a big societal conditioning, right? Who dictates the fashion? Like, who makes stuff quote unquote cool? Where and how did formal attire come from? Who got to create formal attire and call that formal attire, right? So it pretty much starts with, like the designer or the person who's making the clothes and the marketers. And how it works is they will believe in that stuff so much, and their conviction is 100% unshakable that other people around them will start to see that product and they will start to be absorbed in that type of reality. And like some people who are just so convincing and they just have such a strong sense of reality, like they might drink something and they might be like, yo, this is the best drink in the world. You gotta try this. This is so good. And you're kind of like, you're curious. You're like, is it the best drink in the world? And then you drink it, and it's whatever's. But they are so convinced that it's the best drink in the world, you start to question your own belief. You start to think, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. And you slowly start to get into that kind of influence. And I'll give you an example of how this can be played out in real life. So there was this time where me and like a group of people, we were going to In-N-Out. Okay, we were going to In-N-Out. We're all walking there, and the person in charge was this girl, and she said she knew the way, right? And I've been to that In-N-Out before, and we were walking along the way, but I noticed that we were going the wrong way. Like, I've been to that In-N-Out before. Leader person who's leading the group, I think we are going the wrong way. I'm pretty sure it's the other way. But she was so convinced, and she had this huge this strong reality and this strong conviction that no, it's that way. 100% sure it's that way. That I started to question myself. I started to think, maybe it is that way. Maybe it's not that way. Maybe that was a different place or something. Okay, so I followed her. Like, we all followed her. And you know what? Turns out we went the wrong way. We went the wrong damn way. But we were just so convinced because she was convinced. She had that strong sense of reality. And this is how societal conditioning it can start. And that designer or whoever it is creating the product, the clothes, the fashion, they're so convinced that it's the next cool thing, other people start to buy into it. And once enough people start to buy into it, it creates social proof. Social proof is a very, very strong form of influence. When enough people buy into an idea, other people will now buy into that idea, and then it will spread like wildfire, right? It hits a tipping point, and once it hits a tipping point, it goes mainstream and it spreads like wildfire, right? And then it becomes a trend and it becomes adopted, and then that becomes fashion or formal attire. Even though it might not be the most functional, it might not have the most utility, people still believe in that stuff because that sense of reality is so strong. So this is how social conditioning can come into play. So the main point I want to make is have the ability to think for yourself. Become an independent, critical thinker. Don't just believe in something just because somebody said it. Don't just do a command because somebody ordered you to do it. Really think about it. Think about, does this make sense? Is this useful? Is this good for society? And some of these commands can be used for evil, pure evil, right? Or it could be used for greed and money and that kind of stuff. So you really want to process it through your own mind, through your own filter, and become that independent thinker. Don't listen to somebody because they have a sense of authority. Don't listen to somebody because they have a certain title. They are a doctor. They have a white coat on. Don't listen to something even if I said it. You really want to think for yourself and make sure it makes sense for you. All right. So that's it. That's a little brief explanation of societal conditioning. So that's it for this video. I hope you found a lot of value, and I will see you in the next one.